Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Recently we've been speaking about possible demon units for the Demons of Chaos, where we've spoken about the units of Khorne and the units of Slaanesh. Today we'll be talking about the possible units for the Demons of Nurgle. Again, we'll be discussing these units and going over what they more or less worked as in the tabletop. So without further ado, let's begin. Nurgle is known as the Plague Lord, the Chaos God of disease, decay, destruction, and death by rebirth. Although Nurgle is one of the most powerful Chaos Gods, he is not as serious as his other brothers. Indeed, Nurgle takes the approach of a kind old grandfather, often accepting any who call for his aid. Nurgle is often represented as a cheery god, where laughter and smiling seems to be very common. His demons themselves are extensions of him, and it is very common to see demons of Nurgle laughing maniacally as they do their master's bidding. Let us take the time now to go over all possible demon units that could be introduced to a Nurgle roster. The most common of all the demons of Nurgle are that of the Nurglings, swarms beyond swarms of tiny little versions of Papa Nurgle himself, friendly little mischievous faces who obviously have darker plans. They were never an impressive unit on the tabletop, more of a simple tar pit, a swarm in all sense of the word. Now, as it stands, swarms have yet to be implemented as a playable unit in Total War Warhammer. We have no giant rats, and tomb swarms themselves form more of a spell than anything else. However, I still think it's very likely that we will see Nurglings. I mean, Nurglings themselves are pretty much iconic with the forces of Nurgle. Anyone who's played any form of the Warhammer tabletop has usually heard of a Nurgle. And bonus points to CA if they manage to implement sassy Nurgling. Of course, now we move on to the Plaguebearers, Nurgle's standard rank and file units. Tough and durable, but very slow. These aren't units that you'll have charging across the battlefield. However, it is a living wall of flesh, which can take a decent amount of punishment. Should Nurglings not be implemented in any way, I can imagine that Plaguebearers will be your most standard unit. Plaguebearers are often armed with a simple hand weapon, though it could be interesting to flesh out the roster a little more to give them a great weapon too. It's not like it would be a tad overpowered anyway, considering that they are slow moving units. They're going to take a lot of shots before they actually get into close combat. So having two variants of Plaguebearers would help out quite a bit, as by the time they actually get into close combat, they would have already taken a decent amount of damage. Next, we'll move on to the Plague Drones of Nurgle, flying monstrous cavalry which can pack a bit of a decent punch. These were always fairly popular on the tabletop, as their high toughness value made sure that they would last for quite a decent amount of time. It's also very possible that we could see 3 different versions of this unit. One would be the Rotflies by themselves, no riders whatsoever, and then 2 with riders, a basic melee form which is one that is the most common, and finally another one with riders, but this time with Death's Heads, a ranged weapon which served as an upgrade for these units. Already with this, the Nurgle roster is already decently sized, but of course that's mostly flying, so let's move on. Beasts of Nurgle are a rather strange unit for the Demons of Nurgle roster. A monstrous beast, but unlike the rest of Nurgle's forces, it's actually fairly quick. It's also extremely durable with high toughness and wound ratios, meaning that it will last on the battlefield for quite some time. The fact that the monster also benefits from regeneration means that it will just keep healing up, and as long as you don't do anything silly like get it caught between anti-large units, it should be here for quite some time. Palanquins of Nurgle were a mount option back in the day, and I assume they will also be so in Total War Warhammer. However, it's also entirely possible that they could be introduced as a basic unit too, very similar to how the Chaos War Shrine works. A basic buffing unit which will offer some sort of magical aura, nothing too special, but something that provides benefits to your armies. That's pretty much all the units that were available in the 8th edition roster. However, it's not everything that was added already, as previous supplements also added new forms of units which could be fairly useful. Chariots of Nurgle are a perfect example of this. Introduced in the Storm of Chaos, it is a chariot unit pulled by 2 demon beasts. The crew themselves would be Plaguebearers, and yes, there's a lot of chariots that could be introduced for Chaos as a whole. It's a theme that just reoccurred from edition to edition. The Chariot of Nurgle itself could be a decently fast ground unit. Nothing too special, as we all know how chariots work themselves, but it would add some variety to the Nurgle faction. Next, of course, we have the Plague Riders, another decently fast plague cavalry. Demon Beasts of Nurgle once again ridden by Plague Riders. It's a theme that you'll notice a lot through the supplements. Chaos themselves always had cavalry kinda added in, or something around that line. The only real issue I have with this unit is that there is a better, more recent, and more recognizable version. I'm of course talking about the Plague Toads of Nurgle, which were added in 8th edition during the Tamukhan campaign. Not only because of that, but there are also 2 possible variants of this unit, the Plague Toads by themselves and the Pox Riders. Once again, Plaguebearers mounting atop these beasts. And again, they'll have more or less the same functionality. It could be possible that we could see some stuff being changed around, especially as some of these were added in the Storm of Chaos, which weren't really official models. The Storm of Chaos units were built out of kit bashing, which was just creating new miniatures from bits and pieces that you may already have. The Nurgle roster itself is split between slow-moving, durable infantry and decently fast-moving but also rather durable cavalry. The only thing I could see as a bit of a problem here is trying to keep in check with an army which is evenly split through 2 different playstyles. It would be a bit micro-intensive, but then again that's how the Demons of Chaos normally worked as a whole. Nurgle, I'd say, has a rather large roster compared to the previous 2 that we've already covered. It's not the largest by far though, as that would be Tzeentch, which we're covering tomorrow. But what do you guys think in regards to the Demons of Nurgle? Are there any that I've missed? And how do you think they would be implemented into Total War Warhammer? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a bit of a discussion. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.